There's a unique kind of magic that hangs in the air at an antiques roadshow taping. It's a blend of hope, history, and the quiet hum of 100 untold stories waiting for their moment in the sun. People arrive from all walks of life, clutching dusty boxes, carefully wrapped heirlooms, and items that have sat on their mantelpieces for decades, wondering, is this special? Does this have a story I don't know? On a recent filming at the magnificent Shuttleworth House in Bedfordshire, amidst the beautiful chaos of experts examining porcelain, silver, and furniture, one woman brought forward a splash of pure, unadulterated joy captured on a board. It was a painting, and its story was about to unfold in a way she could never have imagined. The piece was a whirlwind of activity, a vibrant beach scene teeming with life. Children on horseback galloped along the shore, families gathered in colorful clusters, and the sea itself seemed to dance in the background. It was a snapshot of a perfect summer's day, bursting with energy and happiness. As she presented it to art specialist Frances Christie, the guest couldn't have known she was holding not just a beautiful picture, but a piece of pioneering feminist art history. Frances' eyes lit up with immediate recognition. You could see the professional thrill of encountering an old, cherished friend. "This is such a vibrant scene," she began, her voice warm with admiration. "It's unmistakably the style of someone called Gladys McCabe, who was probably Northern Ireland's most famous 20th-century artist." The name hung in the air, adding a new layer of significance to the artwork. But for the guest, the painting's value was, until that moment, purely sentimental. It was a thread connecting her to a cherished past. She explained that the artwork hadn't been a savvy auction purchase or a carefully curated acquisition. Its origins were far more personal, rooted in love and loss. "It belonged to an elderly couple who were dear friends of my parents," she shared, her voice gentle with remembrance. The story was a familiar one, filled with the bittersweet task of sorting through a lifetime of possessions after a loved one has passed. "When they passed away, we were invited to choose an item that we'd like to keep as a memory. Amidst all the furniture, photographs, and keepsakes, this painting had called to her. That just appealed to me," she said simply. "It wasn't about its potential worth. It was about the feeling it evoked, the sheer, infectious joy radiating from the canvas." Frances nodded, understanding completely. This is the heart of Antiques Roadshow, where personal history and public value intersect. Color and life, she affirmed. That is what Gladys McCabe was all about. And then Frances began to weave the incredible tale of the artist herself, transforming the painting from a lovely decoration into a powerful symbol of resilience and vision. Gladys McCabe, she explained, was a force of nature. She was quite a pioneering artist for her time, Frances noted. She nearly lived to the age of 100. She was born at the end of the First World War, so 1918. Imagine that. Born into a world reeling from conflict, Gladys grew up to fill it with color. She studied at an art college in Belfast, just as the shadows of a Second World War were gathering, a time when a woman pursuing a serious career in the arts was still an act of quiet defiance. But Gladys was anything but quiet. She was a pretty amazing person, Frances continued, her enthusiasm infectious. Gladys looked at the artistic landscape of Northern Ireland and saw a glaring omission, the recognition of its incredible female talent. So she did something about it. She really recognized in Northern Ireland that there was a wealth of female talent, and so she founded something called the Ulster Society of Women Artists, and she was its first president. This was a game changer. Gladys wasn't just creating art for herself, she was building a platform for others, championing her peers, and carving out a space for women to be seen and celebrated. She was a real promoter of her fellow artists, Frances emphasized. Suddenly, the woman who had chosen the painting wasn't just the owner of a pretty picture, she was the custodian of a legacy created by a trailblazer. Frances then drew everyone's attention back to the artwork itself, pointing out the signature techniques that made it so quintessentially McCabe. It's very typical for her style. It's oil on board. She was really confident with her color and her line. She gestured towards the dynamic figures on the beach. She's used a black pigment to highlight the shapes of the horses and the people, and then she's used lots of different bright strokes to bring out the colors of both the sea in the background and the shore in the foreground. Looking closer, you could see exactly what she meant. The bold, dark lines weren't just outlines, they were anchors.